Hello and welcome to my importing data into AccuClass webinar. We'll get started here. We've got AccuClass, we're signed in, and this is really to kind of cover some stuff that I overlooked just in the previous webinar where it's getting started. Just basically I was showing you how to manually do everything. So in this webinar I'd like to go ahead and show you how to import your students, import your classes, the schedules for the class, as well as the enrollment. And a newly added feature is to import student photos. We'll also go over some of the advanced settings so you can see how to set your time zone and print out some attendance sheets and things like that. So let's get started. The first section I'd like you to kind of check out is your import data section in the advanced option at the bottom. And here it kind of goes through a three-step process that you'll need to do in order to be able to go ahead and import the files. So the first thing, if you're not already familiar with it, is you'd want to import based on the way they show you. So right here you get a quick link and it shows you how the files should be formatted. For example, this is the students import. And you can see that we need an ID, a first name, and a last name, and anything else here can also be put in there, but they're going to be optional. And if you scroll down a little further, we actually have an example file that you can download. So if we were to open this, you can first see what headers you need to have in there. You want to have these, the exact same way, so that way it recognizes, for instance, it has ID and then first name, middle name, last name, email, and card number if you want all that data imported in there. And it's okay if it's an optional field, kind of like the middle name here, if it's blank. Alright, so really quick, I've actually got a few files that I saved that we're going to use. But this whole section here goes through the classes and all the different types of imports, so you could scroll down and learn about that. The next thing we need to do is set our time zone. So if you haven't done that, you can either click here or from the home screen. You can also click this up here, the AccuClass logo, go back to home, and you go into your settings. The first setting here is your time zone. So just make sure it's set to your proper time zone. It defaults to these four. If it's something outside of that, you just put a check next to show all time zones and then choose your time zone and then save the changes. Alright, so we're going to go back. Okay, and then finally at this point, once you've created your CSV file and you set your time zone, you should be able to upload your file. I'm just going to go to my desktop here, and the first thing I want to do is I want to import my students. So I've got my file here. So I've got about 9 or so students here, and you can see I follow the same kind of headers in here. They're named the same. The only thing is I've got these optionals in here. I don't really need that because we want to make sure those are the exact same. Okay, I'm going to go save that real quick. So, and I have a different ID than I do as my card number, so that shows you that you can actually have their student IDs, and if they happen to have a different card number, you can import the both of them in there. So, okay, so we've got that ready to go. So we're ready to upload files. So when I click on this button here, it's going to ask me for the first file, and we want to do my students first, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And we'll just give it a minute. It's actually performing these tasks. You'll see them listed here. And if it were to fail, you'd actually be able to see exactly what step it failed on. Okay, and at this point, we've actually got all of it in there, and it said OK. So if we take a quick look back at the home page and we view our students, we can see the ones that I already had enrolled and already added manually. I've got pictures assigned to them, but all my new guys are the ones without pictures. So we're going to remedy that because we would like to get them with pictures as well. So the next thing, basically to get the pictures ready, I've actually got either, when I look at my students, I have an import profile pics button right here, or if I went to the import data section, there's actually another link here, and it basically explains how to import your profile pictures. Okay, so what you'd have to do is basically name all your files the same as their student ID, similar to like what it's showing right here. And so I just happen to have a folder right here. And if we look at it, I've got all my student IDs on my students' photos. Okay, and so at this point, I'm basically at the same kind of similar screen here where I'm going to upload my pictures. So what we do is we're going to go ahead and click on upload a file. Okay, here's the photos. So we're going to go ahead and just select all of them, so that way we can do all of them at once. And all I did was I clicked and dragged over all of them. You can also hit Control A on the keyboard, and that will select all of them, and then hit open. Okay, and you can see they're all going to upload one at a time here. Okay, so I've got all those uploaded, and let's take a look at our handiwork, and we're going to just click home, and we're going to go back to our students and enrollment section, and now you can see all my students have their photos in there as well. So that's I think pretty much it as far as the students. We need to get the classes in, and then once we have the classes in with their schedules and everything, we're going to go ahead and do the enrollment that ties the students to those classes. Alright, so we're going to go once again to import data, and if I needed to see how my classes need to be laid out, I would actually click here to learn more. Like I said, I've already actually done some of these, so I've got the next one. This is for my classes. This actually includes the schedule as well, and it's done in a maybe odd manner, but these are the headers that you need. The exact name is code. This is the class code. The name, this is the name of the class. Then your department, if you want to include that, that's optional. And then the semester that it's going to happen in, and then the schedule here. Okay. So in the way this works, it's actually using the 2-digit short code for the name of the day of the week. So we have like this MOWE means that they're going to have classes on Monday, Wednesday, and then that's followed by a space, and then we have 900, or it could be 0900 dash 1040, and those would be in military time, so that it knows whether it's AM or PM. That way you don't have to specify it in the file. And then we also have another space, and then the room number. So for instance, the room that I have here is A-101. So altogether it's the days of the week, and using the first 2 days, first 2 letters in the day of the week, and then the time frame that it occurs, and then finally the room. So at this point we've got all that in here. We go ahead and import that. I'm just going to exit out of it for now. Okay, so right now we're ready to upload the file. Let's go back to my desktop and find it. There it is. Okay, and I give them good names so I know where they're at and what they are. Okay, so it's going through the process. It's updating all the necessary results and everything. We've got it finished. Okay, and now we're going to go check our classes, view edit classes. Okay, and so I only had one class in here previously, was English composition, but now I can see I've got all my other classes as well as their schedule. And what's really neat about this, we've got a new view on here where you can actually view the schedules. So if you prefer, instead of a list of the classes, you can actually specify what schedule you want to see. So for instance, this was my English one here. Alright, so the next thing, once we've got our classes with the schedule and our students in there with their photos, we need to tie those two together, basically enroll them in the classes. Alright, now to do that, we're going to go back to Import Data under Advanced Options at the bottom. And like I said, you could click here to learn more about what's required. In fact, we'll look at that. Okay, so for this one, this is pretty easy. It's basically we need to tie the student to the class and then tell it what semester. So that's the only three things you need for an enrollment import. Basically a file that has the student ID in one column, class code in the next, and then the semester. Because these are the unique things that identify that particular student, class, and semester. Okay, so we can click on upload a file, and we're going to do the enrollment. Okay, so it's uploaded it. It's just checking everything's good. Alright, it ended. So now if I go home, there's two ways I can actually do this. I can either click on students in enrollment, and on each one of my students, like one of my new people that I just imported, I can click on enroll, and I can see what they're already enrolled in, and if there was something I needed to change, I could always just click on this, and a drop down comes down, and I can pick another class that I'd want them enrolled in. And then I could also drop them right here by clicking drop. Okay, and then the second way that I could actually view that would be on the class itself. So let's say I want to see everybody that's enrolled in my biology class here. So I just click on enrollment, and there are my 4 people that are enrolled in that class. I don't have that many students that I imported. I think it was like 9. So, but I could also do the same. Just click and add somebody that's not already in the list up here. And then once I have them selected, I'll click add student, and they get on there. I can also drop them really quickly by clicking the drop icon. Alright, so now we've got everything imported. We have a lot more information than what I did. I think I had like 2 students to start off with and 1 class, and in just a matter of a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, minus the time it took to prepare those files, I got everything in AccuClass just the way I wanted it. So I have all my classes that I'm going to be instructing, and it could be for an entire institution as well. So one other thing that I wanted to mention and kind of go into is let's take a look at some of these advanced options. I know I didn't get to do that as well, so I'm kind of doing this as a follow-up to our first webinar that we had. If we go under advanced options settings, there are some other things like default class times. Just to explain what that is, basically we have on each day of the week what your default class length will be. So for instance, if I said on the weekends I only offer 30-minute classes, or the school only offers 30-minute classes, I can change that. So that way if I were to manually create a class, it would default to giving me 30 minutes for that class on the weekend and 50 minutes on the rest of the week. So I could save those changes. Okay, and then down here, this is Attendant Status, and these are the available statuses. We're going to go into that and change that, but I think before we do that, let's take a look at where this ties in. So when you call your roll and you mark somebody absent, present, tardy, let's go ahead and do that for one of these. So I have my 2 students here. These are all my attendant statuses, so whether they're absent, excused, they left early, or they're tardy, or even forgot a sign out. I can actually add my own statuses on this, so maybe there's something else I'd like to put on there. I can change the labeling for these, and I can also change the rules on how those apply. And that's going to be down in the settings under attendant status and available statuses. So you'd click change, okay, and this takes you to like a deeper level of the settings in AccuClass. In here, these are what I have available to me already. I can add something else as well. You know, maybe there's a status that I feel was left out, or it's just special to me that I wanted to add, and I get to pick what color I want here. Let's see. Okay, so I made that a bright tealy kind of blue, and let's say this is I'll just say half session. Okay, and then we're going to count that as half of a credit for that class for that period. So that's what these are when it says count as. You know, do you want to give them the full amount of credit would be a 1, no credit would be a 0, and then something in between. So I can change these you know, to whatever I want, and you know, add my own, of course. Now down here, these are the rules. Once these are given to somebody, or how they're given to somebody, that's how these would be set, is in the rules here. So the first rule is allow signing in early by blank minutes. So this allows a student to actually be signed in up to, you know, here it's saying 10 minutes early, but you could set that to whatever you'd like. The other thing is you can set the status present when a student is signed in and signed out correctly, either through the AccuClass app or a sign-in station. The next one is set status is absent when the student neither signs out or signs in. And you know, that kind of makes sense, but you could change that to whatever you want. Now there's some of these other ones more that would, you know, maybe you'd want to have a a different setting for, but those are pretty straightforward. You could set tardy based if they're late so many minutes. You can change the amount of you know, definition for a late here. I could say for me 5 minutes is late. I could also change this to say set status as you know, this says absent if the student is late by 30 minutes or never signs in but signs out. So maybe I could say instead I want to give them a half session credit. So and then the next one here, set status as left early if the student signs out 20 minutes or more before the class ends. The final one is set status as forgot sign out when a student doesn't sign out. So I think those are fair. I've got a different status for each one of those, and so I'm going to go ahead and save those. Alright, and now when I go to call my roll, we can pick any class here. Okay, so here's one of my students. You'll notice that now I have the half session option as well, and based on those rules, if you have a sign-in station created, when the students sign in, they'll actually adhere to those rules that you set. Alright, well, that's been it. If you guys have any questions, you can email us here at support@enginerica.com. And don't forget, when you're going through the system, if you see any things that you'd like to have improved, there's a feedback button right here. When you click on that, you can enter ideas for your feedback, and you get up to 10 of those ideas per system user, because it's based off your email address that you use. And you can actually weigh those ideas. You can give them up to 3 votes each. So either 10 ideas or 10 votes, whichever comes first. And basically this goes directly to our programming staff to kind of make the improvements that the most people want. Right here is a quick rundown of some ideas that people are voting on. So if you see some that you like here, you can also add to those as well. Alright, well, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.